Hello, and welcome back to Psych Unleashed. I am Elizabeth Junger, and I am your host. Hey DJ, hit it.
Let's get down to business.
Whew. Anyways, now that our bodies are moving and our brain juices are flowing, let's dive right in. Today's topic is organization. And no, we're not talking about organizing something messy, or an organization like a multi-billion-dollar company. We are going in depth into organization, the cognitive learning strategy. Now, we know that organization is a learning strategy, but in total, there are 3 learning strategies: rehearsal, organization, and elaboration. But today, we're focusing on number 2, organization. Organization is the way of processing information by making connections and recognizing relations between the information given. When we organize information, it allows for us to easily remember and understand the material that we're trying to learn. So, earlier today, I came across a quote: "Get rid of clutter, and you may just find it was blocking the door you've been looking for," by Katrina Mayer. When I read this quote, it reminds me of the organization in psychology. So if we organize and try to categorize the information, we will be more likely to find the answer or have a greater understanding of what we're trying to learn. I know for myself, when I organize my thoughts and experiences or the information that I'm given, I can see clearly the distinct differences or similarities between the information given. But when I don't organize the information, I find that my brain gets all clustered and my thoughts are all over the place. Therefore, organization is beneficial to a children's education and can help them learn and improve their cognitive development. Organization is important to help everyone learn. Did you know that organization falls into the human processing of information? Let's dissect this process and see where it falls in.
The information processing system of any human begins with the environmental input. Then the information goes into the sensory register. Next, attention, which is crucial for students to focus on the material. Then we have working memory as the next stage, which actively processes the information. The next step is the in-depth processing, and this step is key when determining if we want the information to stay in our long-term memory. Organization is one of the 3 processes which allow the movement of information from our working memory into our long-term memory. Here, we're able to make connections with previous knowledge and make own opinions regarding the information at hand. And finally, the last stage is the long-term memory stage, which stores knowledge and allows us to remember information for a long time.
Now that we know a little bit more about where organization fits on the information processing system, let's dive in and explore a famous cognitive psychologist. I hope you are all familiar with Jean Piaget. We discussed him and his theory on last week's episode, but if you're not, let's explore some more.
All right, let's see. Where were we? Yes, Jean Piaget is a psychologist who developed a very important theory on cognitive development. One of Piaget's key assumptions was that children naturally organize their thoughts and experiences. Therefore, children can organize information by being given guidance as well as on their own. Piaget introduces the term scheme in his theory. Schemes are the cognitive structures and patterns that we use to organize all information neurologically. We have many schemes, and each one becomes the starting point for what we think about and recall when we come across a similar situation or topic. Jean Piaget believes that profound organizing of information starts in the concrete operation stage, from the age 6 and 7 until the age 11 and 12. In this stage, children have an increased logical thought and are able to organize their thoughts into mental processes. In addition, they can perform multiple classification.
Who knows what multiple classification is? Yes.
Multiple classification is understanding that objects have distinct qualitative and quantitative traits that will make the objects either the same or different, but it depends on the level that you are looking at.
Yes, that is correct. To add on to this, there's a possibility to organize information in more than one way, which would really benefit the child and allow them to learn and remember the information a lot better. Cognitive organization begins when children are young and gradually improves over time. They're able to make connections between new and previous knowledge. Every student can have a different way of organizing their thoughts, experiences, and information that they're given. Now, you may be asking yourself, how does organization look? Well, there are several different organizational structures. Some common structures are forming categories, pointing out hierarchies, and determining cause-effect relationships. With us today, we have a very special guest, my roommate, Shelby. Shelby will demonstrate how these organizational methods will work. Now, come with me and we'll go all the way back to our house.
Hey Shelby, I love the tree. It's looking super festive in here. So, here we have an example of organizing the animals below into the categories of the 6 basic animal types, which are mammals, fish, birds, amphibians, invertebrates, and reptiles. Shelby chose to put humans and rabbits in the mammals category, sharks and salmon in the fish category, penguins and flamingos in the birds category, snakes and turtles in the reptiles category, spiders and sea urchins in the invertebrates category, and last but not least, salamanders and frogs in the amphibians category. By using this structure, Shelby can understand what each category has in common and how they might show a connection. She can deduce that each animal is made up of specific characteristics that make them belong to that specific group. Instead of making categories based off of the first letter of each word in order to try to remember or understand the information, Shelby is creating a much deeper connection by thinking about what the information actually means. For example, all birds must have feathers, and since penguins and flamingos both have feathers, they fall under that category. Also, all mammals have fur or hair, and this is why she placed humans and rabbits in the mammal category. The next organizational structure is creating a hierarchy. Shelby placed each piece of paper in order from right to left based on her view of what she needs to survive. She put food and water first, security and safety second, things that make you who you are third, confidence and esteem fourth, and intimate relationships and friends fifth. This could be different than someone who is performing the same exercise, and it is even different than Maslow's hierarchy of needs, which is where this hierarchy example came from. Shelby's pattern is distinct to her and definitely helps her understand the material better when she organizes and creates relations herself. In the last exercise, I asked Shelby to form a cause-effect relationship of what was given. She chose rain as the cause with 3 effects: a rainbow, plant growth, and floods. By organizing the information, Shelby will most likely be able to remember the information because she categorized it into a cause category and an effect category. Thus, with the help of organizing, she can remember this information for a long time, since this process allows the movement of information from one's working memory to their long-term memory.
That was great. Thanks, Shelby. Now, if you are a teacher or aspire to be a future teacher, you may be asking yourself, what can I do to facilitate learning within my classroom? And how can I incorporate organization in my teaching? Well, first of all, some students may have a difficulty with trying to organize the material. But you as a teacher can help and teach them how to start organizing the material. You may want to ask your students to start pointing out some physical similarities within the given information. This could be spelling patterns or wordings. As your students become more comfortable with that strategy, ask them to start by creating more meaningful connections, such as identifying similar features or characteristics about the information that they're given. When introducing new information, you as a teacher can help your students by presenting and organizing the information that you're giving them in a sensible way in order to help them learn and understand the material much more easily. Anyways, that's all for today, everyone. See you next time on Psych Unleashed. Remember, stay organized.
Cut! And that's a wrap, everybody. Sponsored by Queen Elizabeth II.
Let's get down to business. Give you one more night, got this. We've had